Hello. There's a whole lot to know about the wonderful solitary architectural marvels called lighthouses, much of which has already been covered in a previous video on the top right hand corner of your screen. One grave problem with lighthouses though was that lighthouse keepers seemed prone to losing their minds. What was the cause of that? Was it the solitude of lighthouses that drove the keepers mad, or was it something else? Ghosts maybe? I know you've been asking the same question, especially after having watched Robert Eggers' nightmarish film, The Lighthouse. You're not alone. Some people did believe that lighthouses were haunted by ghosts and other spooky characters, and that ghosts in isolation were the reasons why, as time passed, some lighthouse keepers lost their minds. But one thing, unsuspected for a long time, was the likeliest culprit: Mercury. So now meet Mercury. Not the great rock singer of the Bohemian Rhapsody fame, no. Mercury is a naturally occurring substance, lustrous and silvery white, existing deep in the earth either as mercury sulfide or sometimes in its elemental form. Mercury is the 80th element in the periodic table. Its aliases include hydrargyrum, from which it gets its chemical symbol Hg, and quicksilver. It is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. Despite Mercury's liquid state, it does not exist as a pool somewhere deep in the earth waiting to be pumped out. The primary mercury ore is called cinnabar, which is soft and red or reddish-brown, and on which elemental mercury is found as blobs firmly attached within crevices on its surface. Cinnabar has been found on all the continents of the world except Antarctica. There are approximately 600,000 tons of mercury in the world, but only 3 countries produce mercury the most: China, Kyrgyzstan, and Mexico. How did Mercury possibly make lighthouse keepers in the past lose their minds? Well, first, we'll need to understand how Mercury and lighthouses met. Mercury was used to balance and lubricate the lighthouse's lens as the lens rotated about its axis. Before the invention of the Mercury basin, friction caused by the weight of the lamp and the inefficiency of the clockwork mechanism which made the lamp rotate caused the lamp to complete one revolution in as many as 8 minutes, with each flash as long as 20 seconds, and each flash separated from the next by approximately 1 minute. This did not serve the sailors well. Then the French engineer Augustin Jean Fresnel, whose 1819 invention, the Fresnel lens, revolutionized lighthouses, proposed the use of a bath of mercury in a letter dated April 19, 1825, believing that it won't present many difficulties. He was right, but only in a manner of speaking. Mercury did make the lamp rotate really fast when it was finally put to use for the first time in 1893. With mercury, a lighthouse's lens gave forth light flashes, each lasting 3/10 of a second, and separated from the next flash by an interval of 10 seconds. But there was a grave difficulty Fresnel did not seem to know about: mercury poisoning. Lighthouse keepers became exposed to the mercury used to float the Fresnel lens when they periodically rid the mercury and the top of the basin of dust, dirt, and other impurities that accumulated over time. Mercury also vaporizes on exposure to air, turning into invisible, odorless yet toxic fumes. It is a neurotoxin, and despite its widespread use in ancient times as a medicament, it has no positive effect on the human body. Continuous exposure to it led to lighthouse keepers showing such symptoms as impaired vision, tremors and twitches, insomnia, and psychological instability, manifesting as irascibility, confusion, nervousness, extreme diffidence, depression, and hallucinations. The risks of isolation and of having to brave the elements that come with the job of a lighthouse keeper surely did not help the situation. Are there alternatives to mercury? Yes, indeed. But alternatives such as chariot wheels and ball bearings have proven difficult to maintain, especially due to wear and cost. Fairly recently though, in 2019, an engineering company based in the UK designed an alternative motion control system consisting essentially of a slew ring and bearing system interacting with large pinions driven by gear motors. All this tells us that occupational health and safety is a discipline that should be taken seriously in any profession and organization. Nowadays, many lighthouses, especially in the developed world, are unmanned, reducing the risk of human exposure to mercury. Organizations such as the Association of Lighthouse Keepers, founded by the British former lighthouse keeper Neil Hargreaves, and the United States Lighthouse Society, are dedicated to preserving the memory of lighthouses. That's it. Be a lighthouse. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.